100 limbs still sleeping. You burn out quick, like the cigarette in my breath. I'll have to clear my head for this.
Indie Music Live episode 220. How's everybody doing? My name is JoeJoeKeys still, and I'm sitting here with Mr. David Werba. Tonight we got a great show for you. We have a video and from a review of a guy on a website. Actually, it's kind of like an upstate New York show tonight, actually. Ryan Sutherland from Rochester, New York. A recent review on the website, reviewed by actually his friends, Marty and Katie. They know each other. So
cool.
And then we have featured artists, All Poets and Heroes from Syracuse, I believe, right? Am I right or wrong on that? Right, yeah. And then we're going to be checking out another recent review on the website, Nick Dwayne, That's What You Want. And we actually just came out with another review of his, The Old World, just recently. We'll be playing that on a show in the future. So, David?
Well, I spent $300 on that gray velvet shirt you're wearing. That was my Christmas present to you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you for wearing it. It's not velvet. I don't know why you're saying that, but
yeah,
it's the very back of the closet, sort of winter short sleeve shirt. Because all I have is shorts right now, and it's starting to get down in the 40s and 50s in the morning when I wake up, and I walk out. I'm like, oh crap, forgot to get those jeans and jackets out again. But it's okay. I live in upstate New York. I'm used to it. We wear shorts when it's like 10 out. So
cool.
All right, so. Let's see, Ryan Sutherland. This guy is pretty cool. He's a one-man band. So all the drums you hear is actually him. And they don't show it in the video, but I'm sure there's other videos of him playing. And so it's kind of cool. Kind of cool Southern rock, sort of one-man band type stuff. So, Rob, when you're ready, let's check out Gideon's Bible. We'll be right back.
I'ma stumble home. I'll meet you there. Can't remember a thing last night. Ashes in my hair. I'd end up in this place of my life. I'll turn up, I swear. Hey. Right after this cigarette, right after this beer, one more shot of whiskey, feel my hair standing up in the air. Well, I lost my way. That got out of hand. Oh, these hands won't stop shaking. I can stop anytime I want. Man, John said you should have talked to the thing. Well, it's time to negotiate. Genius ain't a generous thing. How far the pendulum swing. My dying breath be smoke. Ashes in my hair. I could turn any man to stone and ask about my 1,000-yard stare.
And cool stuff. Like, yeah, my dad got me really into, well, not really into it, but he introduced me and sort of, I dug into it actually for a while, is old Southern blues guys, you know, that like, I forget their names off the top of my head, but I'm sure that there's a lot of them, that the type of guys that like, you know, they live out in the middle of nowhere and they're just popular enough that they can go into town and do like 2 or 3 shows in a weekend and make enough money for the whole week. And then they just go back to their house for like, you know, another week out in the middle of nowhere. And it's just how it is, you know, they're not huge, but they're well known and very, you know, fixtures of the scene, if you will. I've never heard of this guy. I live in Rochester. I don't get out much though, so that's probably why. But Dave, you look like you have something you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think the ghost of Robert Johnson would tip his hat towards this guy. I mean, that's the original guy that you're talking about, who's kind of,
Who?
you know, Robert Johnson, man.
Okay.
Like that. He probably
From
has,
Johnson and Johnson, right? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
no, probably some of the earliest blues recordings known to man were his.
Yeah.
That's kind of you know, most blues artists refer to him. I mean, that's kind of where it all began. But so I mean, it has this element of his style of recording. So if you hear any Robert Johnson stuff, it's really, you know, staticky. There's no other instruments. It's just him on the guitar. You know, there's some slide work, and you know, but so that was I don't think that's ever going to go away, man. Just that kind of really like old school element. I think it's always interesting to just see one man, you know, performing with whatever he's got in front of him, you know, whether it's just a guitar, you know, maybe he's kicking the cymbal with his foot or just whatever he's doing. And it was obviously starting to make me think of like Jack White and the White Stripes, because they, you know, it's just one of those bands that has this really minimalist type of setup with very basic drums that are not always on time, but people kind of tend to forget about that. Just
why did drums need to be on time though?
Yeah, but it's just the experience, I guess, like the raw, you know, nature of it. People are willing to look past some of those, you know, just glitches and timing and quality to just I don't know, just bask in the rawness of it and find a way to enjoy it. So that was kind of a similar feeling I was having with him. And obviously that was what he was going after. So, yeah, it was cool, man.
I do a one-man band show myself, but it's more for my wife, and I'm naked, and there's instruments like hanging from different things, you know, different instruments.
Same thing,
so.
yeah. Yeah, same deal.
Anyway, I got Rob's attention. He's like, what? Really? All right, so featured artist of the night, all poets and heroes from down the street in Syracuse. I've been over there a few times. Grounds a few times, but that's pretty much about it for me. I'm from Indiana originally and been in Rochester for about 10 years, so I don't really know much about where you guys are from, but how you doing? Welcome.
We're doing
good.
Great.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been in touch for a while. We reviewed your music a few weeks ago, and then it's so good we decided to have you back. And one of the reasons that I really like you guys is your lyric videos are really cool and animated, and you know, more than just your lyric video, your lyric video. So why don't you guys introduce yourself, tell us about who you are, and a little bit about the wine song, or not the wine song, but wine song, the song about wine. Wait, anyway, and then we'll listen and come back and get deeper with Dave.
All right. Well, I mean, we call ourselves All Poets and Heroes because we try to write music about everyday life and the problems that come up within that, whether it be poverty, mental health. You know, we use a lot of metaphorical things. We don't like to directly address it because we want to leave it open to interpretation. Listeners' interpretation. For us personally, I think our view is that means everything, because music's a sense of escape. And if you kind of say this subject's about that subject, then people feel like they have to be directed towards it, and we kind of like to just let them have at it. The name comes from All Poets and Heroes. It's not us calling ourselves All Poets and Heroes. It's from a book called Walden by Henry David Thoreau. We were originally called Walden, but there's a whole issue why we couldn't call ourselves Walden. And you know, we talked about it, and eventually we came to this conclusion that, you know, everybody is a poet and a hero in their own way, you know. Obviously musicians, but even, you know, single mothers, even the incarcerated, you know, I mean, think how many rap artists, I mean, they've written rap in jail and stuff, you know, so everyone's a poet and a hero in their own way, and we think that's a beautiful thing. And we just thought, you know, it's kind of a mouthful, but at least it has some meaning behind it. So there's that.
It's definitely unique.
Thank you, yeah. And as for the lyric video, that was a friend of mine that Rob and I just reached out to. His name's Jeff Moore. He's wickedly talented. He was in the corporate world for a while doing graphic design stuff, and I worked with him in a restaurant, just, you know, some weird little way it worked out, and I was like, hey, try your hand at it, and it turned into a cool little collab.
Sweet. So let's go ahead and check out your new single. Just came out, what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. Yeah,
Wine
a week or two
song.
ago.
Cool. Wine song. And then we'll be right back and get deeper with Dave.
Sounds good.
Everything feels like pins and needles stabbing me, like a wandering limb still sleeping. You burn out quick, like the cigarette in my breath. I'll have to clear my head for this. Can we be present? I want to ring in the new year, like the glass in your hand. I hang like the lipstick on in this wine. We sing for swim.
Well, I'm hoping you guys aren't perpetually tethered by a single earbud just in your daily lives when you walk.
Yeah, no,
around.
actually, all the time
Yeah,
we're just
this is how
walking
we
around
walk
like
around,
this.
yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, that's how I walk around.
Yeah.
We're actually Siamese twins. You just can't see it because of the.
Yeah, like you're connected at the hip, but that's just
Yeah.
it's just a diversion to what is
Yeah.
going on.
Like a
down
2020
low.
growth defect.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
No, man. Yeah, we played your music before. Obviously, we were talking about the Ray LaMontagne influence. That's cool that your ma's a big fan of that. But yeah, I mean, you guys have been getting a lot of press. I was just kind of doing some little Googling, and in these reviews I was reading, it's like there's so many different bands that they kind of like mention.
We like a lot of bands.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to give my input on this because there's a few of them I really didn't hear. It's like one guy mentioned Jeff Buckley, which
Ooh.
maybe just a touch in the vocal delivery, but not in the sound. Like I don't really hear a similar style there. I don't hear Death Cab for Cutie. That was another one that was mentioned. It was just a totally different style. Maybe a little Radiohead. That was another one, just in terms of the ambient rock and everything. That's getting a little closer. But I mean, I was really feeling more like mid to late 90s alt rock, just kind of along the lines of like the ambient alt rock, even like more pop influence, because I think you guys just have a touch more pop flavor to your sound.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like Toad the Wet Sprocket. I'm thinking who else was the other band? Oh, I can't remember them right now. But so I guess
Britney
I wanted to
Spears.
just what's that? Oh,
Pavement. Pavement's a big one for us. We do love Pavement.
Do you love Pavement?
Yeah, Pavement.
All those in that, yeah. Maybe even some grunge, I guess, but I don't know. We're kind of sporadic with our influences, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that was my first question. Is like, I mean, I hear all these different bands, but I mean, I want to hear from you guys. Like, who are your heroes? Who kind of helped develop your sound?
A lot.
Yes,
a lot,
so
yeah.
many
I mean,
people.
my first was David Gillan from Pink Floyd. That
There
was
we
my
go.
hands down first one where I was just like, I want to learn how to do that. I remember I was listening to Time, and I was in a car with my dad, and I heard that solo for the first time. I was like, I want to like learn how to do that. So David Gilmour was a huge one. That whole band was. Then eventually, I went through all the classics like the Who, Led Zeppelin stuff, and then I got in the '90s stuff like Oasis. I love Noel Gallagher, the Gallagher Brothers and all that. Radiohead was a huge one. That's probably my personal biggest one. just a lot. I definitely more hip hop. I know, like we do listen.
Yeah,
You probably don't hear it in Wine Song, but there's another song in our album called Okialism. That's a very like Boards of Canada kind of like more electronic, Warp Records kind of influence. Like I said,
I get like singer songwriter stuff too. Like modern day for me is like Ben Howard.
Yeah, definitely.
I used to be ashamed to say this, and I'm no longer ashamed to say this, but I love John Mayer. I think he's fantastic. So like that's probably like where you're getting that pop influence is probably from me there.
Hey man, it's hard to knock a guy who's had global fame like that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, he's definitely had some massive hits, so you got to respect that.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the mayor thing, it makes me laugh sometimes because I've seen him on a bunch of like just one of those just collective jams on stage where he's with BB King and like Derek Trucks, and I'm just like, what is he doing there? like Derek Trucks and BB King, and then you throw John Mayer. It's like, I don't know. It's just kind of
He's all over the place too, though. He has some cool ones. He's covered Radiohead. He did Kid A by Radiohead. And even to this day, I'm still trying. He covered Jeff Buckley. I'm still trying to learn Neon too. I'll never know that song. I'll never have that song down.
Yeah, the skill it takes to play some of his music.
The hardest song I've ever tried to play.
The skill it takes to play some of his music is ridiculous. Like some of my friends who are extremely good guitar players just can't figure it out, and I don't blame them. I look at the tab for Neon and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, so this upcoming album, I guess, it's a newly created word. Was it Okialism? Okialism. What does it mean?
Yeah.
I was in a YouTube rabbit hole one night, and I stumbled upon the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, which is this new
pseudo-philosophical.
Yeah, and basically what they did, I don't know who. I say they, it's like the Illuminati or something. They went through and just basically gave definitions to very, very specific feelings that we've all felt, but there's no like word. And I came across this one called Okialism, and it just means just to paraphrase it, basically just like accepting your smallness of your perspective, given how grand the universe is and how limited our time, our lifespans are. You can live 100 years, and that's barely half of a blink of an eye in regards to the universe. So that's what Okialism is about. It's about accepting your place. And I've explained to people, and they think it's a little depressing, but I don't
know. It's not depressing. I mean,
no, I think if anything, it's optimistic. It's almost liberating to hear that. It's almost liberating to know that you're going to have this maybe really small window. So why not try to make it as big as possible? Like, why not try to expand your perspective as big as you can in that limited window?
Or just live it really beautifully. And, so yeah, I don't know. I guess that's weird.
No, I love it, man. I love new words, of course. I mean, that's, but anyway, so what, it's this question. It's not my favorite question, but we kind of got to ask pretty much everyone for the past 6 months is how you guys are kind of adapting just to this,
we've all developed alcoholism.
Yeah. Okay. But what about in terms of just like continuing to get your music out there? Obviously live stream is helping and everything, but where are you guys at with like the possibility of touring? Are you just kind of playing it by ear and what?
I think for right now we're kind of just decided that for safety of our any fans that would want to come out, and for not trying to necessarily stir the pot, or like it would be the worst thing in the world if we threw a show and like 5 people like, yeah, we got COVID because we went and saw All Poets and Heroes. Like that would suck. So we've kind of just been like, we're just postponing the year. So we're just waiting till 2021 to see if hopefully this clears up, if there's a vaccine or whatever, which nobody seems to know the answer to.
No, it's like a post-nuclear type of like ecosystem, because it's like all of a sudden it's like, yeah, there's 5 people at that bar over there. It's like, maybe I'll walk around. It's just very slowly.
Right.
I think we're going to just start to have crowds gathering, but I think it's going to be a while, and it's going to, so how, like all of a sudden, just perfect example. Like I was just catching up on the NFL games, and I usually just watch the highlights. The past few weeks, it's like there's a few more people in the audience each week. They started with just family members, and then I think you're just starting to see more people scatter, and I think that's just gonna. It's like a microcosm, I think, of what's going to happen all over the place.
It's scary. It's weird. For us, we've just tried to not slow down. I think that's the biggest thing for artists right now is to not just basically become a cog in the wheel. A lot of people are doing we'll live stream on Facebook, but when every single person's doing it, you become, I always say, like a needle in a needle stack. It's like, what the hell's the point, So we've just really, like, the lyric videos are really honed down, hammered down those and just got them as tight and as well as we wanted to. Took a step back in our marketing plan for our album coming up, and we have some new stuff in the works that we've really been working on. That's what kept us really busy, demoing some new songs. So just really trying to keep internet presence up and be as creative as possible. And the cool thing about COVID, which that sounds really weird as it comes out of my mouth.
No, that's
it's made, I feel, us and a lot of other artists become much more creative in how we're going to approach the internet. But it used to just be social media. And now I think we're, everyone's starting to be like, everyone's doing social media. Everyone's like pushing to get likes and views. How are we going to do this in a different way? I mean, that's the ultimate question all the time, obviously, but it's really making us just like turn our wheels and start to get in that mindset of approaching things differently. So it's a slow burn. It's a pain in the ass, but you just got to get through it,
Well, I mean, I'm curious now. It's like you guys are both so, well-read and thoughtful. I think you guys express your views very well. I'm curious who writes your lyrics.
Both of us.
Yeah, both.
Mainly,
that's what I would have guessed. That's what I would have guessed.
I send Rob lyrics and he revises them because sometimes they're gibberish, but Rob does the majority. Rob does the majority of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of good. It's fun to write together. We write separate and bring it to each other. We revise each other's stuff. It's a really fun process because it's just like there's no like, especially in the writing process, there's just like no ego, especially between us. Like it's just like, I trust you, you trust me. Let's make this the best thing possible.
And the band is not just Rob and I. Know we're here right now, but we have 3 other musicians in our band that are way more talented than both of us.
That's true.
And they're really great to work with. We have Zach Fitzgerald, who's on guitar. He does a lot of electronic production. Nash Rob, who does upright bass, electric bass, and he's a better guitar player than we are. And then Rob Zachariah, who's our drummer. And all of us, it's a very much a collective. And even with our lyrical content, they have like, hey, maybe if you did the phrase this way, or, you switch the melody to this, so we all are kind of working together to try and bring it full circle, I guess.
That's great to hear. All right. So the website, allpoetsandheroes.com, which looks like basically just it's like a holding company for your social links.
Yeah,
it's just a placeholder.
It's a landing page for sure.
It's currently in development.
Yeah, we're working on that. The fun thing about being a musician is you're automatically rich, so you can just spend money all the time. No, like websites cost websites cost money, and
we have an amazing team at Flight Entertainment, our label. They're amazing. They're really coming through with us, and they got some special things in the works. The thing that sucks is the internet. You can just see it right away, so I kind of tell people like, hey, it's being developed.
Yeah.
So
also merchandise, be on the lookout.
Yes, we will have merchandise. So.
We'll have a shop up soon.
That's our first priority with that. So,
all right, guys, it was awesome hanging out with you, man. Please
right
come
back at you.
Yeah, please come back, man. All right, Rob. Next tune, I believe, is "That's What You Want" by Nick Dwayne. Let's cue it up and let's do it, man. Right there. Right. Do.
Tell what day it was. We all knew that it didn't really matter. No. When confusion gets in the way, parts of truth in what we see today. That's what you want. That's all that matters. Seems so perfect, I must have been dreaming. Now I'm awake, things have changed, I know. Couldn't put my finger on it. Something's off. Something's wrong. Don't start telling lies. I'm not your fool. Stop acting too cool for school. Standing high at the mountain's peak, had to grab onto something, but don't look down. No, no, no. This one keeps spinning, so we need to focus. With all your lies and the hocus pocus, that's what you want. That's all that matters. Seems so perfect, I must have been dreaming. Now I'm awake, things have changed, I know. Couldn't put my finger on it, something's off.
That's What You Want by Nick Dwayne. Yeah, a few comments on YouTube I wanted to say. Stephen and Olivia and I believe Kyle saying hello to the All Poets and Heroes guys. Sorry, back at you there. Nick Dwayne. So this is interesting. Katie Halligan did the review on this guy, and she mentioned Billy Idol. She was just kind of hearing some like Billy Idol influence in there in the voice. I definitely hear that too. And it's almost like this song is like it's like a Billy Idol demo. Like this is like a demo recording before his first album or something. And I say that because there's a lot of good pieces here. Voice, drums, bass line, solid and everything. I really think it's lacking in the guitar production and the mix, really. Like the guitar sits in a really weird place to me. Mm-hmm. Especially if they throw on the headphones, it's just kind of off at like 2 o'clock in the mix.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it just sits there the entire song. And it's just like, you're longing for like a dynamic, you're longing for like a fuller spectrum of sound with guitar. And then the song goes to a whole new level. So I have to say that, but you agree, Joe?
Yeah, that was going to be you took my point. So good night, everybody. Yeah, no, it's the guitar was like, it's just real thin, and I think it would definitely make the song better if it was a fuller tone. And it sounds like almost like he's playing out of a practice amp or something like that. So, yeah, but, I mean, the rest of even if he's producing stuff by himself at home or what, I have no idea. But everything else to me sounded like it was pretty even.
I know
overall and stuff like that. So that was my thing too. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I hear the Billy Idol thing. I love Billy Idol.
Yeah, that's something we notice from time to time. It's frustrating as a listener and a critic sometimes when you see that they've put effort into like everything else, and it's like, wait, what are you doing? It's like you missed the guitar. Why spend a little more time on that?
Well, and it's weird because sometimes you have people that like say the guitar player, we've talked about this before, say the guitar player does the mixing and all you hear is guitars.
Yeah.
But then there's like the quiet people that are the guitar players. And I think he does everything, honestly. I think, I don't know if it's, a real drummer on there or not, or what, but I think he generally produces the whole thing. But then there's the people that are like, make their stuff quieter than everything else because maybe they're not sure about what it's supposed to be, or I don't know. But,
yeah, like if they're not proud of one of the instruments, they just bury it. But by doing so, it actually affects the whole song. Yeah.
But we've Nick Dwayne's been around for years. He's one of the first people we reviewed, and then he kind of disappeared for a while. And now he's back with 2 new singles. That one, and we just posted The Old World. So somebody to definitely keep an eye out for. And if you like that kind of music, then he's your guy. So David, any final words tonight?
No, man, it's a good time hanging out with the guys. Like I've said before, really like All Poets sound, especially Rob's voice, man. He's just got a really, really great rock singer voice. And yeah, if I didn't mention that before, man. Yeah.
Cool. So let's see. So Rob Hixvideo, Hixvideo. If you need professional live streaming production for music events, churches, events. Jesus, my cat's like dying in the hallway or something. Sorry, guys. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Yom Kippur, whatever it is that those Jewish people do. I don't know. It sounds good. I'm not saying anything bad about it, but he did something with them too last week. Anyway. We're changing times. Next week, we're going to move up a half an hour. We're going to do that a little. We're going to move up a little by little every couple of years until it's like noon. So no, I'm kidding. 7:30 is our new time. Starting next week, it gets too late for me. I get up early. I got to go to bed by like 9 o'clock. So
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Everything feels like pins and needles stabbing me, like a wandering limb still sleeping. You burn out quick, like